because I want a new narrative. He chose only one option, and that only one option was Jesus. And he said, I only want Jesus. He's like, I just want to go wherever you go, Jesus. And so the second thing I want to look at tonight, because we're going to have to look at these choices and making choices, is we're going to have to go back. Jesus told this man, he said, go back to your home. Go back to didn't love him. Jesus didn't have a great plan for his life. He's like, but I want you to go back through your story. I want you to go back to your home. And I want you to think about how much God has done for you. Not about how mad or how bad you were, but one moment of Jesus changed this guy. And I thought about, like, what changed in this moment? Like, did this one moment, like, transform him? Or I wonder if Jesus began to go through with him all the moments of grace that showed him that maybe his narrative was a different narrative. Could it be that Jesus began to show him and reveal him aware of all the things that God had done in his life up to this point? He's like, remember when you did this, and remember when this, God was bringing you through, that God had been working in his life for good, not for evil, to bless him and to encourage him. Like the woman at the well, she said to her town, she said, come see a man who told me everything I ever did, and he still loves me, anything that you've ever done. And he for good, in spite or despite all the things that we might do he's like, okay, we're going to recalculate. Yeah, okay, that wasn't a good decision, but let's recalculate. Okay, we're going to recalculate. We're going to have a new plan because God has been working in our lives for good all the way through. And he loves me, and he cares about me. Like the thief on the cross, obviously paying the price for a life messed up. And he says, we deserve what we're getting. And yet he said to Jesus, he said, remember me. And Jesus said, today you'll be with me. Like God says, recalculating, even on the cross, there's like, I'm working for good in your life. And this is part of, if we're going to have a new narrative, if we're going to develop a new narrative in our life, if God is going to design a new narrative in our, all those times where maybe these like, and God was literally like moving cars, or like brushing us out of the way. We tripped and fell, and like a rock flew over our head, right? And we're like, oh man, I tripped and fell. And God's like, yeah, you don't even realize it. It was like a rock flying over your head. It's when we think back in our life, if we really start to do this, we're gonna start thinking about it with gratitude. You know, I think that one of the things that gives us victory is gratitude. The Bible says we enter into God's gates, into his presence with thanksgiving. If you want to experience God in your life, just start writing down, just start thinking about how grateful you are. One of the practices that I've been doing is I write down in my journal the things I'm thankful for. I literally write them down because my mind goes, legions of thoughts. I start writing down all the things I'm thankful for, and the more grateful you are, the more victory you get, and the more happy you get. I'm thankful that I couldn't play